My stepsister's death was my fault, but no one knew until 7 years later. My stepdad was away on business. My mom was at her weekly poker game. They left me to watch my 9-year-old stepsister, Grace. I lost her because I was too busy hanging out with my friend. If my stepdad found out, he'd beat me within an inch of my life. So I kept quiet. I told myself she'd come home when it got dark. Instead, I got the call that shattered everything. Chapter 1. Our small Connecticut town hadn't seen a murder like this in decades. Grace's face was unrecognizable, her skull crushed by rocks. Her pink princess dress, the one she'd begged Mom to buy last Christmas, was torn to shreds. They loaded her tiny body onto a stretcher for the medical examiner. The detective's voice cut through my shock. "When did you last see your sister?" I swallowed hard, my rehearsed story ready. We finished lunch around 2 p.m. I took her to Miller's Creek behind the woods. She was scared of the water, so she played with stones on the bank while I tried to catch some fish. I don't know when she wandered off. I thought she went home, so Jake and I headed back with the fish. Jake can verify we're together at my house waiting for her. I figured she was just playing somewhere and would come back when she got hungry. The image of Grace's destroyed face hit me again. I broke down, sobbing. The detective handed me tissues. "You and Jake Morrison were together the whole time?" I nodded quickly. "Yes, Jake, Grace, and I all went to the creek together." "Your story is very polished. Did you rehearse it?" My blood ran cold. "I just want to help you catch whoever did this to my sister. I'm trying to remember every detail." He studied me. "We'll do everything we can to find the killer." After giving my statement, they let me go. At the door, the detective called out, "Marcus, I heard you got into Yale early admission. Full scholarship. Pretty impressive for a kid from here." I froze. "What does that have to do with Grace?" "Nothing. Just making conversation." Walking out, my legs felt like water. Grace's crushed skull kept flashing in my mind. I couldn't shake it, so I focused on analyzing every word I'd said to the detective. He was suspicious. A 17-year-old shouldn't be this composed after finding out his sister was murdered. I'd been too eager to establish my alibi. But what choice did I have? If I didn't get my story straight immediately, my stepdad would assume I was guilty. Evidence or not, he beat me until I couldn't walk. Grace was his miracle child, his only biological kid after years of fertility issues. He treated her like precious china while I was the punching bag he'd inherited when he married my mom. I waited at home, dreading their return. They came back after midnight. My stepdad's face was volcanic. He grabbed my hair, dragging me to my room. "Grace is dead." His bloodshot eyes bore into mine, grief mixed with rage. Years of beatings had taught me to cower. His voice cracked. "Why are you shaking? Guilty conscience?" "And no. I told the police everything. Jake can confirm I was with him. I'm sorry I didn't watch her better, but I didn't hurt her." When cornered by my stepdad, I was 1,000 times more terrified than with the police. I dropped to my knees, grabbing his legs. "Please, Dad, believe me." He kicked me away. "You're lying to me, Marcus." Chapter 2. My blood turned to ice. What lie? I'd gone over every word with the detective. Jake could verify everything. Then it hit me. "What time did I call you this afternoon?" His hands wrapped around my throat, lifting me off the ground. 6 o'clock. "What did you tell me on the phone?" I gasped for air. I thought Grace was just playing around the neighborhood. I was scared you'd beat me for losing her, so I said she was napping. That's where I'd lied. Grace disappeared around 3 p.m. Her body was found at 10 p.m. When my stepdad called at 6 p.m. to check on her, I'd panicked and said she was asleep. His grief transformed into pure fury. He slammed me against the wall. "You lied to me. You hid this from the police. Did you kill my daughter?" I clutched my bruised throat, coughing. "No. Jake can prove I was fishing the whole time. We depend on you," I wheezed. "Why would I hurt her?" His eyes were ice. "Reasons? You hate me for hitting you. You hate that I was saving money for Grace's private school while making you take out student loans. With Grace dead, you keep your Yale scholarship. You think I beat you just because you're not mine? I see through you, boy. You're calculating. Cold. A snake I've been feeding in my house." The belt came off. Each word punctuated by leather on skin. "I didn't kill Grace. I'm not the murderer." No evidence pointed to me, but he wanted blood. Whether he truly believed I was guilty or just needed someone to punish, I couldn't tell. I didn't dare fight back, that would make it worse. My only hope was that he'd maintain enough control not to actually kill me. But when my back was raw meat and he showed no signs of stopping, I knew I'd miscalculated. The door creaked open. Through tears, I saw Mom in the hallway, counting a wad of bills from her poker game, calculating her winnings. She didn't even glance our way. Just as I thought he might actually beat me to death, police sirens wailed outside. Detective Walsh burst in, sweating and urgent. We found the suspect. Chapter 3. The police station was packed at 2 a.m. The entire town had gathered, baying for blood. They'd cornered old Thomas, the homeless vet who collected cans around town. The crowd wanted to tear him apart, held back only by a wall of officers. Thomas cowered, making incomprehensible sounds, his eyes wild with terror. Is this your daughter's? Detective Walsh held up a small pair of cartoon underwear. My stepdad's whole body shook. Yes. I dressed her in those myself yesterday morning. Where did you find them? Walsh glanced at Thomas. We found him skulking near Miller's Creek, holding these. You sick fuck. Monster. She was only 9. My stepdad lunged. It took 3 officers to restrain him. We can't confirm he's the killer yet, Walsh said firmly. The medical examiner hasn't finished. He's just a person of interest. We need to know, has he ever approached your daughter? My stepdad's voice cracked. Yes. That pervert gave her candy, bought her toys. He was grooming her. He gained her trust and then he broke down sobbing. The crowd erupted. I knew he was trouble. He gave my daughter cookies once. Fucking pedophile. Shoot him. In the chaos, a teenage voice cut through. My dad didn't do anything. Thomas's 16-year-old son, Dylan, pushed to the front, tears streaming. Dad's not right in the head. Not since the accident. He had a daughter who died, that's why he's nice to little girls. He'd never hurt anyone. Everyone knew Thomas's story. 5 years ago, driving drunk after another PTSD episode, he'd crashed his car. His 8-year-old daughter died on impact. He'd never been the same, lost his job, his house, his mind. He and Dylan lived in a trailer on the edge of town. But with Grace dead, his kindness to children looked sinister. The mob turned on Dylan, beating him until his ribs cracked. Police dragged him to the hospital. I slipped away, nauseous. At home, Mom was drinking beer, already buzzed. They find the killer? I grabbed a broom, sweeping up cigarette butts. Just a suspect. Old Thomas. The crazy vet? Makes sense. She paused. Where's your father? Dad lost it. He'll probably try to kill Thomas whether he's guilty or not. Mom snorted. I only married him for the steady paycheck. Should have known better. Their wedding photo gathered dust on the wall. I stared at it, then kept sweeping. My stepdad didn't come home until 4 a.m. My back was screaming, the belt wounds keeping me awake. I heard them arguing. Don't touch me, Roy. Grace is dead, this marriage is over. Just give me my share of the assets and we're done. Our daughter just died and you want a divorce? I need you, Linda. If you can knock me up again, give me another kid to replace her, fine. Otherwise, sign the papers. He couldn't. His fertility issues meant Grace had been a miracle. We all knew there wouldn't be another. Mom wouldn't budge. The next day, the detective's report pushed my stepdad over the edge. Chapter 4. What do you mean he's not the killer? He had her underwear. Who else could it be? Detective Walsh set down the medical examiner's report. Your daughter wasn't sexually assaulted. No prints, DNA, or trace evidence links Thomas to the scene or body. A single piece of clothing isn't enough to convict. They released Thomas. My stepdad snapped completely. He tucked a kitchen knife under his jacket. I'll get justice myself. Mom played poker on her phone, pretending not to see. I brought her coffee. The cops say Thomas is innocent. If Dad kills him, we'll lose everything in the lawsuit. That got her attention. She ran after him, blocking the door. Put the knife down. You want to throw away our lives for revenge? At least get the divorce finalized first. I need my money. His eyes went pure black. Grace was your daughter too. She's dead and all you care about is money? Mom shrugged. She's already gone. What else can I do? Leave the police work to the police. The knife went into her throat before she could finish. Mom clutched her neck, blood spurting between her fingers. She died without another word, eyes wide with shock. I locked myself in my room, barricading the door with my dresser. My stepdad's voice came through, eerily calm. You're next, Marcus. You and your worthless mother let my baby die. After I kill that old bastard, I'm coming back for you. His footsteps faded. He'd lost it. Completely psychotic. My heart hammered as I waited, ear pressed to the door. When I was sure he was gone, I followed. He walked down Main Street with the bloody knife in plain sight. Nobody stopped him. They knew where he was going. Some actually followed, wanting to watch. They surrounded Thomas's trailer to prevent escape. I hid in the crowd, watching through the window. Thomas sat inside, clutching a photo of his dead daughter. The knife went into his back before he saw it coming. He made those awful sounds, the voiceless cries of a man who'd lost speech in the war. His son Dylan crawled from under blankets, broken ribs making every movement agony. Dad. He dragged himself through garbage and empty bottles, reaching his father just as Thomas's eyes went blank, still holding his daughter's picture. Dylan held the body, screaming Dad over and over, his broken bones grinding with each sob. But Thomas was gone. When the police arrived, my stepdad was covered in blood, fighting arrest. Let me go. I have one more to kill. The boy who let my daughter die. I stepped forward from the crowd, voice shaking. I called 911. He killed my mom too. My stepdad's eyes promised murder, but handcuffs kept him from touching me. 2 counts of first-degree murder. He got the death penalty. During my statement, Detective Walsh brought up Yale again. So Marcus, your sister's dead, your mom's murdered, your stepdad's getting executed. You inherit everything. I heard he was making you take out loans for Yale. Now you can afford it. Convenient. I jerked my head up. What are you implying? He tapped the desk. Tell me again what happened the day Grace died. We finished lunch around 2 p.m. I took her to Miller's Creek. Word for word, just like before. Tell me, Marcus, where are the fish? My mouth went dry. We ate them. You cooked them? His voice sharpened. First time I asked Jake, he forgot about you cooking fish. Second time, he remembered, said you spent 30 minutes in the kitchen while he waited outside. What else did you do in that half hour? Chapter 5. The interrogation room's fluorescent lights burned my eyes. This wasn't the comfortable interview room from before. This was where they put suspects. Had they found something? Impossible. I hadn't lied once. No. Evidence led to me. I forced calm into my voice. Detective, are you accusing me? My house is far from the creek. 30 minutes is barely enough to cook fish. He slammed the table. We never told you where Grace's body was found. How do you know the distance? My mind raced. She disappeared at the creek. I assumed. I mean, the creek is far from my house. Detective, I had nothing to do with Grace's death. Hours of questions. He tried every angle, but I stuck to my story. I spent 30 minutes cooking fish. Period. All these deaths, none could be traced to me. Nobody knew my mom died because I'd manipulated her into demanding divorce money, triggering my stepdad's rage. To them, she died trying to stop a revenge killing. Thomas's death seemed even more logical. Walsh's only angle, why was Thomas at the creek that night? Why did he have Grace's underwear? I shook my head. I don't know. Hours later, they had nothing new. Walsh let me go with a warning. You're smart, Marcus. Bright future ahead. You're 17. If you confess now, you might get leniency. Miss this chance, and you'll regret it forever. I nodded earnestly. If I remember anything, I'll call immediately. But inside, a voice spoke clearly, I'll never regret this. No more beatings. No student loans. Enough money for Yale and graduate school. After summer, I'd never return to this place. But 2 months stretched like years. Walsh visited daily, hoping to break me. With no other suspects, I was all he had. Jake started hanging around, demanding things. Buy me beer. Pay for my games. Cook me steaks. When I refused, his expression darkened. You know, I remembered something else. When you were supposedly cooking fish, you didn't smell like fish. You smelled like perfume. Women's perfume. I stared coldly. That proves nothing. Jake smiled. I know. That's why I haven't told Walsh. But you've got money now. What's wrong with sharing? I forced a smile, slinging my arm around his shoulders. We're brothers, right? No need to ask. I spent thousands on Jake that summer. He didn't get into Yale, but he'd be at State. Close enough to bleed me forever. Walsh had been right about one thing. I was starting to regret. Chapter 6. Jake got worse in college. Skipping classes, partying, always needing money. He thought that perfume smell gave him leverage for life. Then he got a girlfriend and invited me to meet her. Remember Stephanie Chen from high school? Quiet girl, never said much? Turns out she's wild when you get to know her. I glanced at Stephanie. Cool. You two together now? Jake was already drunk, his hand sliding down her back. Damn right. Tomorrow's her birthday. Spot me some cash for a present? More money. I paid without argument. Jake downed 2 more beers, then dragged Stephanie out, groping her openly. He buried his face in her neck. God, you smell amazing. None of the other girls smell like you. Stephanie endured his pawing, then turned to me with a slight nod. I returned it, fighting disgust. The next day. Jake drowned in the Connecticut River. Drunk, he'd fallen off the bridge. I was with Stephanie in Riverside Park when we got the news. She gripped my hand hard. Marcus, you promised. I keep your secret, you marry me. We agreed. Jake was blackmailing you. I got him drunk and pushed him. I did this for you dare abandon me now. I wanted to pull away. The perfume and heavy makeup made me sick. But I couldn't. I squeezed back. You're overthinking. We just can't be seen together yet. People might get suspicious. Besides, getting rid of Jake wasn't just for me. He smelled your perfume. Stephanie threw herself at me, sobbing. I don't care. I have nightmares every night, Grace, your stepdad, ghosts coming for me. You're the only thing keeping me sane. I closed my eyes, letting her cry on my shoulder. She wasn't pretty. Average student. Street trash who dropped out to work retail. Not remotely in my league. But I had no choice. As long as she kept quiet, I'd endure it. Chapter 7. In college, I claimed to be single. Better girls than Stephanie threw themselves at me pretty, smart, from good families. But I couldn't fully commit while she held my secret. I hid it well until senior year. My internship at Goldman Sachs introduced me to Victoria Ashford hedge fund heiress, Harvard MBA, gorgeous and brilliant. Everything Stephanie wasn't. Victoria's connections could transform my future. But to marry her, I had to ditch Stephanie. I couldn't stand her anymore. If I was 30 minutes late, she'd smash plates. You're fucking someone else. Marcus, you swore you'd marry me. Betray me and I'll destroy you. Usually, I'd calm her down. But remembering Victoria's shy smile when I'd held her hand, my patience snapped. When will you act normal? I work lady, it's called building a career. Stop being so fucking paranoid. Stephanie's eyes filled with tears instantly. I knew it. You're sick of me. Who is? She? Which whore stole you? I clenched my fists. Yes, I'm sick of you. I'm an Ivy League graduate at Goldman Sachs. You're a dropout retail worker who comes home drunk every day. Why wouldn't I be sick of you? Look at your face, I can't tell if you're human or a clown. You can't cook, can't clean, you're wasted half the time. What exactly do you offer? 7 years of suppressed rage finally erupted. Stephanie went deadly quiet. She stared at me, tears streaming, voice hollow. Everyone can judge me, Marcus. Everyone but you. You know why I drink? Because what I did for you drove me insane. I'm at the edge every day. Alcohol is the only thing that helps. She reached for me, trembling. Marry me. Please. Once I'm your wife, I'll feel secure. I'll stop drinking. I'll be perfect for you. The thought of lifetime imprisonment made me physically ill. I pushed her away. Let's be honest. I'll never marry you. I'll give you $5,000 a month for life. That's all I can offer. She collapsed. No. I'll die before I let you go. Chapter 8. She'd lost it completely. More than anyone I'd ever known. She grabbed my shirt, eyes wild. I'm already destroyed. If I can't have you, we'll burn together. Marry me or we both go to prison. I'd rather destroy you than let another woman have you. She meant it. I'd already killed for my freedom. One more wouldn't matter. But I couldn't show it. I helped her up gently. Baby, I'm sorry. That was just stress talking. I just started this job. The pressure got to me. Once things settle, we'll get married. We've waited 7 years, a few more months won't matter. After much soothing, she finally calmed down. Next morning, I made her favorite breakfast, sent her to work happy. Then I visited certain underground contacts, buying drugs that would interact fatally with her antipsychotics. Small doses delished be completely insane within months. After that, an accident would seem natural. 6 more months and I'd be free. Knowing this, I treated her better. We actually achieved something. Like peace. She even stopped clinging, sometimes working weekend overtime. Manager needs these reports. I'll take lunch with me. Watching her hurry off, I sighed. If she'd always been this stable, maybe things would be different. But it was too late now. Victoria's family was already planning our engagement. The wealth and status waiting for me made me giddy. I wanted Stephanie gone now. I put on my best suit for dinner with Victoria's family. But waiting for me wasn't her parents. It was Detective Walsh. Chapter 9. Marcus. Long time. You've done well. Goldman Sachs, right? Your town's pride. Though you never came back after that summer. He wore civilian clothes, older, grayer, but his eyes still burned right through me. My voice cracked. Victoria, you said we were meeting your family. Who is this? Victoria's warmth vanished, replaced by ice. I lied. I'm not an heiress. The Porsche is rented. And I have a boyfriend. Another familiar figure entered, taking Victoria's hand. That would be me. Marcus. Remember me? I backed against the wall. Dylan Thomas? His eyes went red, fixed on mine. You remember? Do you remember my father dying in his own blood? My dad was innocent. Framed by the real killer. Detective Walsh and I never gave up. We've been investigating for 7 years. Finally found something. You knew about a shortcut through the woods. 30 minutes was plenty of time to kill Grace and get back. 7 years later, they were still investigating? They'd found evidence? Impossible. I'd made no mistakes. Even if they found the shortcut, they couldn't prove anything. I forced calm. That's slander. I'll sue. Dylan laughed coldly. Would I tip my hand without proof? Why do you think Victoria went undercover? And where do you think Stephanie is right now? The door opened. Stephanie entered, clutching papers, laughing and crying simultaneously. Marcus, I did everything for you, and you're poisoning me? Trying to kill me? Fine. I want to die anyway. Let's go to hell together. Chapter 10. Everything clicked. Dylan and Walsh had been watching me, but without evidence, they needed Stephanie to crack. So they created Victoria, used her to push me toward eliminating Stephanie, while secretly showing Stephanie proof of my betrayal, driving her to turn on me. I didn't know how much she'd told them, but it was enough for prison. All my work, all those deaths, my perfect future ruined. One thought consumed me, run. But Walsh blocked the exit. Marcus, confession might still get you leniency. Don't make this worse. His aged body wasn't strong, but his words hit like hammers, shattering my defenses. I collapsed, grabbing his legs, screaming. I didn't kill anyone. Grace's death wasn't me. Walsh's voice turned to iron. Stephanie told us everything. You crushed Grace's skull. You orchestrated Jake's death. And Thomas? His death is on you too, isn't it? You planted Grace's underwear on him, didn't you? To frame an innocent man? Yes. I killed Grace. With my own hands. 7 years later, justice finally came. With Stephanie's testimony, resistance was pointless. As I confessed, I snarled through tears. They deserved it. My stepdad, my mom, Grace, Jake, Stephanie, all of them. Grace was a moron who couldn't pass 3rd grade. Why should she get private school while I take out loans? Why did mom watch him destroy me and do nothing? Jake tried to blackmail me. And Stephanie, that trash, thought she was good enough for me? It all started with Stephanie. She'd wanted to date me in high school, always following me around. She offered to teach Grace a lesson to impress me. When Grace disappeared, I knew Stephanie had taken her. I hated my stepsister. So I let it happen, thinking she'd just get scared. But when my stepdad called, reality hit. If he found out Grace was hurt because of me, he'd beat me to death. I used cooking fish as cover to race to the woods. Too late. Grace was injured and had seen me talking to Stephanie. To save myself, to escape that hell house forever, I made a choice. I crushed my stepsister's skull with a rock. I promised to marry Stephanie for her silence. I stripped Grace's clothes, threw them at Thomas, who was collecting bottles nearby, to misdirect police. I drove my stepdad insane, making him murder my mom and get executed. Finally, I could attend Yale. Finally, I could succeed. I screamed at them, I did nothing wrong. They were obstacles. Anyone blocking my path deserves death. Dylan asked quietly, what about my father? I went silent. Thomas was innocent. Dylan, orphaned and broken, was innocent. I had no answer. Walsh sighed. Thomas's death isn't legally on you. But Grace's murder, poisoning Stephanie, finished. Everything you built is gone. 7 years ago, you had one chance to come clean. Finally. Life without parole. I died in prison. The end.